Okay, let us continue. So today we have Sister Su Ching, who will be sharing on donating a part of you, and followed by Sister Su Ching and Sister Moon on the EG Pure Heart Health story. Yeah. Okay, now let us invite Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary. Sister Su Ching, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sister Lee. Okay, turn on my slideshow. Sister Tiffany last week diligently mapped the many recent humanitarian initiatives brought about by the unfortunate Russian-Ukrainian conflict. She detailed the collaborations with various agencies to provide many services and gratefully described the learnings from her varying experiences. From cash cards with local grocery stores that help give refugees a sense of dignity, and NGOs providing safe children's shelters so that adults can work without worry. Blue Dot Centers are safe temporary shelters, allowing families to rest from their weary. Eco blankets that traveled many miles from China to Poland were received warmly. Sister Tiffany highlighted that whilst the world's attention is on the Ukraine plight at the moment, let us not forget the 811 million people displaced and suffering from the changes in the environment. Alone, we cannot tackle the disasters that have sprouted all around. But when we realize we have friends, collaborators can easily be found. These collaborations have catapulted Tzu Chi more prominently in the global map. Sister Tiffany pointed out that the Tzu Chi compassionate relief is much wanted and needed in dispensing the aid gap. You see, the giving of aid is more than just the distribution of things, food to eat and things to wear. The Tzu Chi magic is to make the aid felt so that recipients can know and feel the warmth and care. Master says, take inventory of your life and be the firefly that lights the night sky. Be the reason why the world is a better place and that goodness multiply. And Brother Jo Huang came on. The Buddha noted that sometimes people stop learning, and why is that so? One is that people think that they are already up on the top. Second is that they don't know where else to go. Third is because they don't believe they can get higher, either from ignorance or self-doubt. The fourth is that they are tired and exhausted and just want to mentally and emotionally check out. The final reason is because people may be unsure of themselves, their capabilities and potential. These are recipes of a life that is dismissed, meaningless and inconsequential. But while these are there for us to see, Brother Joe believes that the inherent nature of all of us is to excel, actually. At some time, we will get out of the rut and be driven to elevate and improve. At some stage, we will find ourselves become selfless, less afflicted, and encouraged to move. If we surround ourselves with the right company always, with a positive attitude and character, then soon the influence to be more wise and compassionate will come through, as that is our true inherent Buddha nature. Okay, so that's one sharing. And I'm next. Okay, this morning, thank you so much for coming on. I will be doing a sharing on certain things that I have done for the past few years. And I thought sharing this would be quite nice. So the first one is a donation that I have been doing for actually quite the longest time. Okay, hold on. Why is this not doing now? Okay. So actually, you should be donating a part of me because that's what I do. So I'm a blood donor. My blood donation journey started in 1993 in TARUC College, where I was studying. TARUC College runs a massive blood donation drive, and they still do. I was just in TARUC College yesterday giving a talk on corporate governance, and I was just asking them whether blood donation drive is a big thing, and they tell me, yes, it is still a very big thing. Okay, hold on now. Students line up to donate blood. They really do. They form long lines. And if you donate twice a year, you get free hepatitis B jabs. This initiative by TARUC College is now enjoyed by all Malaysians. And TARUC really makes it really fun. There are, when I recall what we used to do, the halls, well, when I was in TARUC College, the big hall hasn't been open yet, but the library rooms, any place that we can find a location to put a bed, we will put a bed for people to donate blood. So it becomes like a party environment, and young kids, you just want to be part of it. So it was really fun. Over the years, I have donated 40 times. I try to make it every 3 months, but occasionally, more often than not, I fail the hemoglobin, which is iron, and I have low blood pressure as opposed to other people with high blood pressure. You know, sometimes when I cringe when I'm going to see the doctor, like, how do I increase my blood pressure so that I will pass it? But the clinic, the places, when they take your donation, they really take a lot of precaution. They will take your iron test, and if you fail, you absolutely cannot donate, as well as your blood pressure. In Malaysia, as a blood donor, you get free dental service in the UKM dental clinic down in town, and some ward exemptions is also good to know. But I'm sure there are other things. It's just that I don't go out of my way to find out. The UKM dental service was actually just a very nice find. Okay, this is my book. As you can see, it is old, since 1993. So it started out with 5th October in 1993, and as you can see, there's batal a few times. Oh, hold on, let me just go back. And the most recent one was this 26th of August 2022. But you can also see that sometimes some years I totally cannot make it. It's not out of forgetting or what, but sometimes when I go there, I fail the iron test. Okay, I actually went to the TARUC website to see whether they are still doing the blood donation drives, and they do. And I was wondering whether I could get a picture of the long lines that students take to make a beeline to do the blood donation. But unfortunately, this is the best that I have. This is a poor representation of what it used to be. This is the graduation hall. It used to be that I remember my last year in TARUC College, just before I left, I was volunteering to take care of students' bags before they go in to make the blood donation. So we were giving them numbers and tags and all that. But just entering the hall, and you can see the rows and rows of blood donors giving of themselves. It is quite a sight to behold. So, okay, this is a view of what I mean by the beds. For those of you who have not done a blood donation yet. Okay, there are things to know before a donation. You should have, they say full meals within 2 hours, but so long as you have had breakfast, something to eat, they will be okay with it. You should have at least 5 hours of sleep before you go. You bring an IC or your red book, the red book that I was showing. Sufficiently hydrated, because if you don't, then you're really no good for anyone. You're not under any medication, including alcohol. If you have been partying the night before, don't go and donate your blood. And you weigh at least 45 kilos, because that's the minimum weight. Before I became vegetarian, I used to go out of my way to ensure that I don't eat pork, because I feel that if the donation is sincere and your blood is going to be given to almost anyone, so let us just be respectful of people who may or may not receive our blood. Yeah. Okay. But now since I'm a vegetarian, it doesn't matter. Some interesting things to note. One bag can save 3 lives. And that's a great thing. When I first saw this in 1993, I was thinking, wow, this is a great thing. If only one bag can save 3 lives, you don't need that many donors in a lifetime to save almost everyone on Earth, right? Our blood regenerate every 3 months anyway. So if we don't give it, the cells will also die. So in giving of your blood, you really don't lose a thing. It is like a well, and when you take out water, it just keeps filling up. So why wouldn't you give? You would. The ability to donate is really a privilege. So when I heard what Master always had propagated, that it is the privilege to give, it is really true for blood donation. Not everyone can donate blood, and in a while I will share with you the conditions to exclude those. And they test your blood for AIDS, STD, and hepatitis before the blood is actually given to someone. So this is very interesting. Before you actually donate blood, you've got to fill up a form that you are not donating blood just to get this free test, which is, I find, incredibly hilarious. Okay, you cannot donate blood if you have cancer, cardiac disease, severe lung cancer, and so on and so forth. If you have certain blood conditions, also you can't donate blood. So for instance, my son was born, when he was born, he was tested for G6PD. It is a blood condition where he has certain allergies that are already inherent in him. And the sad thing is, I remember the doctor told me, oh, he cannot be a blood donor. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, what a shame. So I feel at that moment that donating blood is really, really a privilege, because it is a gift that is given to you for you to be able to extend to others. Well, that is how I feel. Now, some people will ask, where can you donate blood? Actually, I didn't know, because the National Blood Bank is just down the road from my house. So it has always been very easy for me to go to the National Blood Bank. But there are events all over the place, and people have been organizing it for their own companies to spread awareness. When I was in my accounting firm, because we have several initiatives done by the club that we have. So we have, all you have to do is just go to the National Blood Bank and tell them that as an organization, you would want to organize a blood drive, and they will send the necessary people and support system. All you have to do is just to mention the location, expected beds that you can fit in, and how long your duration will run for. So usually it gets to be incredibly festive, actually. You sometimes see blood donation drives in supermarkets and malls. So it is, you will never run out of places to donate blood. All you have to do right now, I typed in where to donate blood in Malaysia. There is a website called bloodgo.com, and they will tell you the donation events throughout Malaysia. Hey. Oh, and the National Blood Bank has a branch in Mid Valley and One Utama. So that's easy. You can donate blood while you shop. Before I started donating blood, I think there were always some fears, and actually education is the only way to get around fears. So before the donating blood, there are a few things that you have to do. As mentioned before, you have sufficient sleep and water, and on the date itself, after filling up your form, there are a few things that they do. Firstly, they test your blood for iron, and if you fail the count, then you cannot donate. I think the minimum for the hemoglobin is 12.5. Before, a long time ago, they used to have a blue solution, and they drop one drop of your blood. If it sinks then you can donate blood because it's heavy enough. If it floats, which mine happens to be a lot, then you are not allowed to. Okay, then the weight is taken. And of course, after that, they will ask you a few things. You will have, okay, over here, this is on the top, isi borang penerimaan darah. You will have to fill up a form, then you do a test. You will have an interview with a doctor, sometimes it's a nurse, and they will also ensure that you're not under any particular medication. Okay, then you will be led to the donation room itself, where you are put onto a bed. Then you choose either right hand or left hand that you wish to make your donation. They will give you either a squishy ball or something like a rod or whatever to hold. Then your veins will be found by the nurse, and then the whole process will begin. So a needle will be injected and then connected to a blood bag. The whole process probably takes, from the donation of the blood itself, it only takes around 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And after the bag is full, then you will have to rest for around 10 minutes to make sure that the wound heals before you stand up. So really precautions are taken, so there is no need to worry at all. So there are a few myths or fears that people have about blood donation. And I found this over on the internet, so I thought that is a good sharing. So I'll go through them one by one, yeah. Okay, firstly, there is a perception that after donating blood, your body weight will increase. Those of you who know me, I don't think I'm overweight. And I have been a blood donor for so long. So that I don't think that is true at all. I don't think there are any medical findings to support that claim either. Okay, the next one is I'm afraid of needles and blood. And actually, I know the fear is actually very real. To which all I can say is you don't have to look at when they are doing it. The feeling is just like a mosquito bite. Actually, no matter how many times I've donated, every single time the nurse pokes me with the needle, I look away, because this is something that I don't think I ever get used to. That I think there was probably one time and I actually looked and I didn't want to see it again. So the fear of needles and blood is actually a very common thing, but really, you don't really have to look. And the pain is very temporary. I'm scared of losing all my blood after donation. They are not going to drain you dry, honestly, they won't. Every person, depending on your weight, from 45 kilos to 50 kilos, you're given a small bag, 350 ml. If you're above 50 kilos, then they will take the 400 ml, 450 ml. But they will never drain you dry. The whole purpose is to make sure that you are safe after the blood donation. So don't be afraid about that. The other fear is that donating blood will make the donor weak. But there are, of course, when your body first loses a bit of blood, your body will need to readjust. The logical thing is not to overstress your body a few hours after donating blood. So take sensible precautions after you donate blood, have sufficient rest, and by the time a day is done, you will be back to normal. So really, it is a very simple process. It wouldn't take long. If you think you don't have time, you don't really need much time, probably just under an hour for the whole process to complete. In fact, I think I've spent more time after donating blood, eating the wonderful bihun that they normally serve, and enjoying my drinks, and usually they'll give us a fruit as well. Then I do at the donation process. Okay, there are many blood donors in Malaysia, so why should I donate? I think we are very used to that kind of comments, as in people will say there are many donors for Tzu Chi already, why do I need to donate? It is the same response both ways. Really, the number of blood donors in Malaysia is fairly low, and the National Blood Bank doesn't know when blood is needed because malang tak berbau, you don't know when an accident will happen. So you will want the National Blood Bank to be sufficiently stocked all the time. And so regularly donate blood, whether or not there is a festive season, whether or not there could potentially be accidents. Just if you can and able to, donate, because the blood can be stored. I can't donate blood as I suffer from high blood pressure and am under medication. Again, it's good to talk to doctors, and the doctors will be able to advise you accordingly. Transmitted diseases are possible from the donation, and that is not true. You will always get fresh needles. The nurses will open it right in front of you. So I don't think the chances of contamination is there. The risk is really, really mitigated. Okay, and Milo tastes so good after a donation. Really, it does. I don't know what it is, but I think this is the part I look forward to very much. I don't normally take Milo because of the excessive sugar content, but after blood donation, when I walk over to the place where the dining hall, wow, the Milo is just so welcome. Okay, there is a quick video that I have to show that the blood supply is safe, and a lot of people wonder what happens after blood is donated, but I need to connect with the sound, so just give me a sec. Yeah, let me stop share, and then I have to share sound. Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
Ever wondered what happens to the blood you donate? At the National Blood Centre in Kuala Lumpur, staff work tirelessly throughout the year to process numerous bags of blood to ensure it's safe for hospital use. Every evening, all donations are scanned and weighed. They're attached with what you'd call an unscreened label. A sample of each blood bag is sent for screening to check for things like HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and syphilis. While awaiting the screening results, the blood bags are balanced out and placed into a centrifuge. This separates whole blood into plasma, red blood cells, and platelets into different layers based on their density. Once out of the centrifuge, white blood cells are filtered from red blood cells. This reduces any risks for patients who undergo frequent transfusions. The different components are then stored overnight. Platelet bags are specifically placed in an agitator to retain its viability. The next day, when results from the screening come in and the blood tests negative for infections, the unscreened label is replaced and the blood is ready to be distributed. Dr. Noyati Abu Amin, Director of the National Blood Centre, says the need for blood can arise anytime, so they have to ensure there's adequate stock year-round.
Back in 2019, we collected more than 740,000 units of blood throughout Malaysia under the Ministry of Health Facilities, under the Pusat Darah Negara and all the other blood banks. 2020, it's 650,000 throughout Malaysia. And we hope that we can bring up the collection this year closer to 700,000. As much as possible, we try to meet with the demand from the hospitals, but it has been quite challenging in this COVID period.
The centre needs to collect 500 to 600 units every day. With fewer donors and mobile campaigns during the pandemic, Noyati says they've been using their reserves.
blood is an important therapeutic product that is being used for patients, right? Until today, there is no synthetic material that can replace the function of blood totally. And we depend on each other to help patients in need of transfusion. So I really do hope that Malaysians to come and donate blood on a regular basis to ensure that we meet the need of patients and that blood donation is safe and it's actually you are saving lives with blood donations.
Did you enjoy that? I honestly did. Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this picture I found in Pusat Darah Negara. Donation is just, the blood donation is just another dimension of donation, and I thought this was a very nice picture to show. A little joke, they told me I had type A blood, but it was a typo, and I'm an O. So O is a universal donor, A, B, not so much, and AB is one of the rarest forms. Okay, in 1993, when I first donated blood, one of the things that really moved me was this poem that it wasn't written by me, it was written by someone else, but it was given to us in a card. So I thought I'll just share this with you. It goes, no badge of service does he wear. He lives a hero unaware, a man who rolls his sleeves to give his blood to help another live. Who gives without return or fee in a simple answer to a plea, that flush of health again may grow on the cheeks of one he'll never know. His blood a newborn babe may save from yawning brink of early grave. That child so weak and small today, a hero's role may later play, or one a prey to accident. By his life's blood new strength is lent. His blood may help a surgeon's knife to bridge the gap from death to life. None of these will know his name, nor see it carved on walls of fame, but he who told that men may live, a hearty, humble thank you give. And I hope you enjoyed that poem. The final message that I want to give for blood donation is when you donate your blood, you don't get to choose who receives your blood. And therefore, you don't get to be biased or prejudiced or play favorites. And you can just send your blood on this journey to bring a smile to someone with all your love and the history that goes with it. And that is the first part of donating a part of you. Okay, my next part is this one. I am also a hair donor. Okay, my hair donation journey was probably about 10 years ago, a bit shorter than blood donation. I saw a video about donating hair and I was already a blood donor. So I was thinking, yeah, actually, why waste it? It's always thrown away. So I started being a bit more technical because I'm an accountant, and I realized that my hair grows at a speed of 1 inch every 2 months. So it takes around 2 years for me to reach 12 inches. So I only cut my hair every 2 years at the very least. Usually it's 2 to 3. When my hair gets very long, people get my case, I always tell them it's purpose kept. I'm not keeping this for anybody else. I'm just keeping it to donate. And I will cut my hair usually very short. That was a bit shocking for when I was already part of Tzuti. The last round was in June 2020, so it's been 2 years. Why? Because I want to have sufficient length. So this time around, I know I have to keep my hair a little bit long. So I'm keeping it a bit longer because I want that length when I finally donate. So in the next few slides, I will attempt to answer the big who, what, when, how, why I do what I do. Okay, the big what. The hair that you donate is usually made in 2 weeks. And usually for cancer patients, when they lose their hair, it can be very traumatic. So a wig is necessary for cancer patients. Again, mainly for children, as natural human hair is not known to cause allergy and itchiness, whereas synthetic hair would be. So when hair is actually sent to a place, they will sort and wash and brush and sew, and then they design. So the little hair that we save is not sufficient to make one. You normally need about, I think, 10 to 12 ponytails. So they have to sort according to hair type. The more donation that comes in, the more varieties they will have to be able to match. Okay, so who is it for? It is for kids like her, this girl. We will show you in a short video in a short while. Okay, let's watch this video.
Yeah. In a hair salon, and I'm about to cut off 12 inches of my hair and donate it to Wigs for Kids. Where? Oh, I'm feeling nervous, definitely, but mostly very excited. Here we go! Oh, she's doing it. This is my hair. We just cut the first ponytail. Oh my God, this is crazy. So I cut this off my head, and now it's gonna go into a wig. I hope that my hair can help create a wig that is given to a girl that can give her confidence and make her feel beautiful.
Are you excited to get a new hairpiece?
Yeah. She hasn't sat still all morning.
I think I saw it in that room.
This is all the hair that was donated from some special people for you. Is that cool? Yeah. You want to brush it? Uh-huh.
Now I got some.
Might not seem like a lot in the big scheme of things, but to a little girl, it means a whole lot. So I really have to thank the people who donated.
Thank you, Hannah.
Okay, nice, right? For those who are wondering, sorry, just now I said 10 to 12. It's not, it's 20 to 30 ponytails to make one wig. So we need more hair donation. And this is something that is only yours to give, because only you can grow your hair. Now the big where do I donate? And when I first started, there wasn't a hair collection in Malaysia, so I had to look overseas. But the good news is that it has come to our shores. So this was the first place that I donated my hair to. It's called the Little Princess Trust. It's good to know because people might ask across the seas. So knowing another place to donate to is actually a good thing. In Malaysia, we have Lots of Hope. It is based in Kajang. You just have to type Lots of Hope, or you just put Malaysia hair donation, and you can have all the details that you need, how to keep your hair, and what to do when you go to the hair salon. So rightfully, we should have our hair clean already. You shouldn't go to the hair salon to have your hair washed, because your hair will be cut immediately. So you have your hair clean. You go there in the ponytail, you tell the hairdresser how much you want cut. So they will adjust the band accordingly, and then they will cut and give you your ponytail, and then you can have your hairstyle in the manner that you want. The reason why I keep it so long, you saw the process. A lot of hair is lost because it is brushed, it is sewn and all that. You would want sufficient length. If you don't have sufficient length, then the wigs tend to be very short. I guess the good news is that it's mainly for kids, but if you can afford the next few months and at least another 1 or 2 more inches, then that is a good thing. So the length that they are asking for is at least 6. Personally, I try to achieve at least 12. But again, it is really, really up to you. The reason why I am sharing this is because I find that sometimes I see people where they had long hair and suddenly they had short hair, and I say, did you donate your hair? And they go, oh, I didn't know that there was such a thing. So spreading awareness is important. Now that you know, you tell people with long hair, even before they cut now, hey, you can donate your hair when you should decide to cut. Okay? If you have perm, dye, rebonded hair, they will accept it after 6 months of your perming, your dyeing, and rebonding. If you have curly hair, they also accept it. But white hair, not more than 20%. Or if you have dry hair, I think that is also okay. My most recent donation was in June 2020. I had hair that long. I think I'm very blessed with hair in abundance. So I decided to cut it. This is how it would look. Hair today and gone tomorrow. You like my pun? Let's just say I'm having a good hair day. Funny, huh? Okay, here's my big why. When you donate your hair, you don't get to choose who receives your hair. And therefore, you do not get to be biased and prejudiced or play favorites, because that's human nature. That's what we do. When you send your hair on, you just send your hair on this journey to bring a smile to someone with all your love and the history that goes with it. So that's really my big why I donate hair. Finally, and I guess most controversially, my final donation is this. I am an organ donor. Well, eventually I would. One last donation before I go. This is my body and this is my choice. It was in 1996, just before I started working. So it was probably 1995. I saw this and I thought it was so meaningful. So I'm sharing it with everybody today. It says, the one that I read, instead of organs, it said heart. So I'm going to read it as heart. Please don't take your heart to heaven. God knows we need them here. So what I did when I first started work, immediately, I went to the National Kidney Foundation, and they had a form previously and you had to fill up. Crazily enough, they had all this, they had kidneys, what do you want to donate? But they didn't have bone. But when the card came, there was a bone part and it wasn't ticked. So a lot of people ask me, how come you didn't want to donate your bone? It's not that, it wasn't available in the form. But since then, things have improved a lot. But I have been carrying this card since 1996. You can see that my address is even the one in Penang, my house in Penang. It's now easier. This is just very recent as the 12th of September. You can pledge your donation in My Sejahtera. Go to your app. On the top left-hand corner, you will see a blue heart and it says Organ Donor Pledge. You just fill up some information and you are good to go. Because of Tzu, I found out about the Silent Mentor program. I was in Hualien with a few friends and we were at the place where I saw it live, as in I know how it will happen. Silent mentors use their body to teach, and I think it is incredibly a good movement. You are allowing a potential doctor to make the mistakes on your body so that it wouldn't make a mistake on somebody's life. So when I came back, I found out that it has come to Malaysian shores. It was impossible to send your body to, it is impossible to send your body to Taiwan. So you can only donate in the country you're at. So I signed up as a donor in 2020 when I found out that it has come to Malaysian shores. I think I was at a funeral and I saw some leaflets. And then when I picked it up, I found out the way or the process to do it. Now, sometimes certain things, even if you know it and it is not available here, it kind of miss you. So education and awareness is important. Okay, some basics on the silent mentor program. You have to be a citizen age 18 before you can pledge your body for donation. And if you are below 18, then you have to get your parents' agreement. But there are preconditions for that donation, the final donation. You are unable to donate your blood if the death is due to an infectious disease. There's drowning, or the donor committed suicide, you can't. Or you've already gone through post-mortem or organ donation, then the body is not good for as a silent mentor. Or if you have death in Kelantan, Terengganu, Sabah, I don't know, probably they don't have the facilities there. Or even if the death was abroad, then that is also a precondition for not being allowed as a silent mentor. So you might be thinking, you are both an organ donor and a silent mentor donor. Is there conflict? Of course, it would be only at the time of death. It is mutually exclusive, as in you can't have one without the other. But I don't see it as conflicting because I don't know what will happen upon my death. So if there should be a situation where I am already a vegetable, then the logical thing is that I should be an organ donor because that takes priority for life-saving purposes. And one body, you can actually have so many parts. You remember, you can donate every single thing that is inside, and there are many, even cornea, your eye. So you can be both. That is the message that I want to send out. So in preparation for my death, I drew this decision tree to help my children execute my wishes so that they know what to do at that point in time. First question is, am I eligible as an organ donor? If the answer is yes, then start the harvest. And then I will have my Nirvana funeral. My Nirvana funeral means I've actually bought a funeral already so that my kids don't have to, or my family don't have to think about it. But I don't want to be buried, but that one is a bit later. Okay, but if I'm not eligible for organ donation, then perhaps am I eligible as a silent mentor? And if the answer is yes, then send the body to university hospital and really the funeral is not important. But if no, then I will have my Nirvana funeral. I only know I do not want to end up in a cemetery. I feel that 8 billion people in the world today, or 7 approaching 8, whatever the figure is just too many. And there is already a saturated place for the living. So let us make space that it doesn't have to occupy more space. And then I came across this tree pot burial and how it works. Actually, they will put your ashes into a pot. And actually, that's what I prefer. But I think for a lot of people, it sounds a little bit too bizarre and, oh, this is too traumatic. So something called a bio-urn is something that I recently saw, and this is what I want to share. So sit back. This will only take a minute. so nice. I've been talking a lot about death, and a lot of people are a bit sensitive, but I honestly feel that it should not be a taboo, because that is a journey we all share, regardless of our color, our religion, or race. It really doesn't matter. So let us put the fun back in funeral. Okay, me and poems, I just love them. So I saw this and I thought that it would be a nice sharing before I wrap up for the day. Miss me, but let me go. That is the title. When I come to the end of the day and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in the gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all a part of nature's plan, a step on the road to hope. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we know and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. Finally, as in the other two donations, when you donate your body, you do not get to choose who the doctor will save as a result of practicing on your body. And therefore, you do not get to be biased or prejudiced or play favorites. And even if you're an organ donor, it is the same thing. You do not get to choose. You just send your body on its journey and the parts on its journey to bring hope to someone with all your love and the history that goes with it. That is the end of my sharing. It is perfect time, Sister Su Ching.
Wow, really very awesome. I'm sure everyone enjoys it as much as I do. Well, Sister Su Ching, maybe let's just go to YouTube site. Sister FP, I'm very grateful to Sister FP who has typed a lot of wonderful insights from sisters sharing. Yeah, bravo, donated 40 times. Such great compassion, benefit masses, able to save life through donating one own blood. Oh, from the blood. And I was thinking, wow, hair. So it was really awesome. I'm sure, okay, back to the blood. Wow, with that great video from the MOH also, now we know. That's why if any community in Sisi wishes to organize any good activity and don't even have to crack your head, now we know, just go to Pusat Dadara Negara and be joint effort with them. Save life, as well as all the volunteers, they love to donate. Even I recall our community once they did it, and people passerby, there was this Malay family came and we asked how they know. They said actually we were on the way to somewhere, then we saw this poster about blood donation. Apparently, see blood donors, they carry their red book wherever they are.
It's in my bag all the time, and
no wonder.
As a donor, if you've donated sufficient time, because every time you get the needle poked onto you, you have a hole there. So my hole is like, if it's 40 times, can you imagine? Sometimes I have people say, "Oh, you take drugs?" No, I don't take drugs. That's just a natural hole.
Wow, it's really very grateful. Ever selfless. This one is a great benefactors, virtuous effort. Myriad's actions, Myriad's virtues, that's where all the good blessings comes from. And I think very kind to Sister Su Ching. And the last part on this, the silent mentor as well as the bio ends. Okay, it relates very well with the topic today. Okay, let me share my good morning, Sifu, Sangren, both masters, brothers and sisters. Thank you everyone for great support today. We understand this. I think lately everyone is very busy with a lot of activities, especially those in the social adaptation. These 2 days, a lot of boats outing. Enjoy the outing. And I think over at Klang, they have this very wonderful session with the Saimdapi. They are being invited. So we will look forward to hear their sharings soon. Okay, good morning. This most of the, actually in fact, this session, this sharing is mainly extracted from about Master the Gong sharing on 15 April 2022, the conversation between us and nature. So Sister Su Ching, when you share about the respect to the nature, and it relates very well with this. But it is this, my content is only half of what Master the Gong shared, but it's already truly very inconceivable. Okay. Masters, the Go mentioned about Masters Sangren sermon on 15 and 11 of April 2022, which reminded us to calm our mind, listen to the nature's message, and be more vigilant of the disasters that is happening around the world. So Masters has been exploring the source of life. Sangren said, let us not be afflicted, because we should fill the space in our hearts with wisdom and more seeds of thoughts. Sorry, I meant to share. Okay, this is our everyday homework. Master says, all lives have their mysterious way of survival. Different parts of plants can communicate with each other. For example, a tree has its trunk, roots, branches, and leaves, which are connected by transport system. Each part of this has its own function and it's interconnected. It is a circulation system, just like those in the human body. If the roots is not healthy, the leaf could not grow well too. So the root is the foundation of the whole circulation system. Likewise, humans have circulation system too, like how TCM, the traditional Chinese medicine doctors, diagnose patients by reading their pulse. Our pulse is very important. Without this pulse, there is no life, no living. When there's life, then it has the ability to communicate. Everything in nature has its way of functioning. Our earth too is a living entity itself, and it has a heartbeat as well. Oh yeah, before I go further, I've forgotten to inform, to share, I have a partner, Sister Moon, here. From time to time, Sister Moon will share her insights and make us to reflect and help everyone to digest the sharing for today. Moon, Sister Moon. Okay, back to the sharing. Likewise, we too have a heartbeat, and that is very vital, very important. This universe is constantly telling us something. It is whether we can be mindful and still our mind enough to get all these teachings from the nature. So Master says when the surrounding is calm and tranquil, especially at dawn, that's why we listen to Master's teaching at dawn, 5:20. Masters could hear breathing of Mother's nature. So the earth too has its circulation system. That's why Master said when we walk, we have to be gentle and not to hurt the Mother Earth. So that's why I say, I think if everyone notices the way Master speaks, especially before a disaster is about to happen, you can see Master could already feel it, and somehow Master would feel restless or something about to happen. So that's I think actually, in fact, the nature, this body, we are able, but if our mind is able to be still and tranquil enough to feel the nature around us, okay, we can imagine, so long there is this beating, the pulses beating, there is living. Thus, the nature 4 elements of land, water, fire, and wind. Each of these elements has its own circulation system and its function. Due to advancements of technology, we could view the circulations of air, oceans, and livelihood of marine, earth pressure. Also, it is also a type of circulation, etc. from the satellite. All of these are interrelated to one another. When the 4 elements are out of balance, then natural disasters would happen. Master said, what's more important is our mindset. If we could harbor good thoughts, then we could have good karma. If we harbor evil thoughts, bad karma will form, and eventually collective bad karma will bring natural disasters. Reflecting back to Sister's Su Ching sharing, it's always, I'm sure Sister Su Ching is always thinking how to give herself to benefit others, hair, or blood, all this. So that's why if we could, all of us could harbor the good thoughts, then the world will be at its balance. The nature of the place is affected by the minds of people living in that community, in that area. Greed, brings floods, anger brings fire, ignorance brings windstorm. If there are a lot of afflictions, then that place could be affected, filled with disasters or imbalance. Contemplate them. The disasters of the place is affected by the minds of people living in that area. So as we have mentioned, this great brings floods, anger brings fire, ignorance bring windstorm. If a lot of afflictions means a lot of this imbalance. Master sharing reflected the three principles of 三理四象 that we often heard. Three principles of the and four states, the physiology principles of birth, aging, illness, and death. The mind principles of arising, these minds arising, these thoughts arising, finding, changing, and ceasing. Physics principles of the things we see around us, table, chairs, are principles of formations, existence, decay, and emptiness. So we constantly, in fact, all these natures that are teaching us, we are already living in a universe that undergoes subtle changes every second, every moment. As I'm talking, I think my fingernails, all the parts of the body is also undergoing that very subtle changes. This reminded both Sifu of the Jingsi aphorism that we are seeing here. A pure stream flows in a calm and tranquil manner. A stream with impurities flows in a turbulent current. To purify a stream with impurities, the only way is to feed it more pure streams. It means to call upon more people to do good deeds. That's why the world needs more people to do good deeds. Like Tzu Chi is one of the NGO that is doing good deeds. If there could be more good harmonious flow, it could disrupt the unwholesomeness. This also includes the flow of water or the sea. If we keep accumulating defilements and afflictions, then our energy, good energy, will be blocked. So it is the circulation system of our body, and we will fall sick. Due to present Dharma degenerations era, lots of disasters prevail, and people are in great need of Tzu Chi's assistance. Master said, time, space, and affinity between people. These three factors are created from the mind. Buddha Dharma is very important as our guide in life. Whether we take a road or a path, we need to have a guide. Everything in this world can teach us. They can be our teacher. We are most blessed today to have Master Chen Yan as our Dharma teacher to guide us on this spiritual path. But what about our future life? Would we have such a blessed ability to encounter such a virtuous master again? The answer was given in Master's sermon on 11th of April 2022. Masters talk about the law of cause and effect, how one sound can pervade the whole universe using technology. But it is only through Master's sermon that, is it only through Master's sermon that we could hear this guidance? In fact, Master's talk is everywhere. And with the advancements of technology, we could hear it anytime. I'm sure everyone is aware. Some like to prefer to listen to recordings, so we can, in fact, listen it to anywhere, anytime. These teachings can liberate us from suffering so long if we can accept the teachings with a big, simple, pure mind. Master Chen Yan often reminded us to express our gratitude to everything on earth. We must have respect and be grateful to the people and harbor universal loving kindness. That is the enlightened great love. Most of all vegetation has their respective life nature. We must believe that. Just wonder you have believed it or not. Okay, these are the extract from Master De Gong sharing way back in, back then.
Sister Su Ching, maybe I can have my thoughts around here. You know, for us to receive Buddha Dharma, basically, we have to cultivate a very calm and accepting mind, right? Because if you are not calm, and the mind is so turbulent, it's very, very hard to absorb anything, actually, not just Dharma. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I think going forward is going to be tough, right? Because, you know, they forecast by 2050, 66% of people are going to live in cities. Not enough trees, just concrete blocks. Most of the people forecast 93% of our time will be spent indoors. So again, in an artificial environment. So if we place people in such artificial environments, then how can they connect with nature? How can they listen to the sound of the earth, and to the breathing of the earth? So I think it's going to be a very tough thing. And if they don't connect, if we don't connect even to nature, it's very hard also to connect to Dharma, right? So of course, that gives credence to Master, that despite all these things, she's able to really, kind of like pull people out from this artificial environment and make them see, what is actually important and what actually matters. So how can we actually do improve ourselves to listen to the earth and to help others do the same thing in spite of our artificial environment? I've come across this thing called forest bathing. I'm sure a lot of you also have heard about forest bathing. Basically, I think the Japanese take it to a very high level. Forest bathing means you actually go into the forest or any landscape place that has trees, that has vegetation, right? It can be a park, because if you cannot go to a forest, you go to your local park. And you just leave your phone, your cameras, all your equipment behind, and you just wander aimlessly around that place, freeing the mind, looking at trees, looking at shrubs, looking at little things. For example, we were at the spine Sri Damansara. This tree has such a wide spread of roots. It's so beautiful spread. It's like a net, but it goes out, and then the grass has grown over it. And it makes a very beautiful, natural pattern. Then you start to notice things like that. And in this way, you actually, it's a balm. After a while, maybe after half an hour, you struggle the first half hour maybe, but after a while, the mind will calm down and you start to see things. And if people learn how to do that, their minds will be calm. They will not be so turbulent. The thoughts will not be so turbulent, right? And so there will be less people with depression, less people with anger, less people with ignorance, more people connected to nature. And I think that is something that even in Tzu Chi, we are facing a lot of challenges, right? We are spending a lot of energy to say, look, we take care of our mind. It's a lot of energy to keep telling ourselves, take care of our mind. That's what I find, If I have fear, I say, what is my mind thinking? Come back to the no fear zone, or if I have anger, what am I doing? I come back. So if we can do this to help ourselves, probably we will be better leaders in teaching people how to stay calm and by doing that, if we are able to listen to the earth, it does have a good lesson, right? So that's why not everybody can take it to the level of Sangren, of course, because she is so tranquil. I know she can hear everything. But yeah, I think that, this kind of small little effort like forest bathing things is very, very important. Even if you go into a forest, grounding, have you heard of grounding? Our body is basically electricity because we are 90% water. We need to be grounded, Otherwise, we have a lot of sickness. Just like your house, you need to earth it to be safe. The body needs to be grounded. You can just do it by walking around your garden if you have a grass, barefoot, or putting your feet on the grass for 20-30 minutes. You can ground yourself and you will feel different, if you do it constantly. So you ground yourself. People say they sleep better after grounding. Of course, there are other ways like grounding mats and all that, like you got no chance to go to a garden and all that. You use grounding mats, but I've never considered those things. But just going out to a park, sit on a bench or lying down on the grass, as much of your body surface as possible, touching the earth. That's why you see in the Australians, they're so happy maybe because they're always in the park, lying down on the grass, and so they're grounding themselves every day without knowing it, right? So I think these are things that we are actually we are supposed to connect with nature like that, but we are not. So we should go back to that in this way. Yeah.
Wow, Kak and Sister Moon, really very good suggestion. Later we have outing, maybe we can ask the participant, the boat crew, to do grounding. Okay, that one is super. Okay, Kak Ann. Okay, let us move on to the next. During the Volunteers Morning Assembly on April 11, 2022, Master Chen Yen mentioned that everything on earth have sound and there is interactions among their sound. Even remain in stillness, there is still sound. So what's that sound? The sound of Mother Earth breathing. Actually, this is a video, but somehow I'm not sure why I couldn't get the video. So I cut the picture. I mean, the picture is cut in such the satellite monitoring the Mother Earth. They will see actually Mother Earth is breathing. That's what masters could feel it. Just now, Master Chen Yen told us that we are indeed most blessed. We are not facing the difficulty in listening to Dharma. As humans could hear and practice, we could hear Dharma in peace and find a great teacher to guide. We will have to contemplate deeply in this lifetime. We even have Master Chen Yen to guide us. Moreover, we have the opportunity to come to the world of Tzu Chi to cultivate blessings. Not only in cultivating wisdom, we could also cultivate our blessings. Master Chen Yen often admonishes us to express our gratitude to everything on earth. We must respect and be grateful to the people and harbor universal loving kindness that is enlightened great love. Most of us, vegetations has their respective life nature. We must believe in that. That's why you see, even Sister Moon just now, the suggestions speak back to our Mother Nature. They have this that could help us and heal us. Not just wonder, okay. This morning volunteer assembly on April 11. Master Chen Yen also mentioned that everything on earth has a sound and the interactions among their sound. Even means in stillness, there is still sound. So this is the one that we have seen the sound of Mother Earth, different months. Okay, next, as Master Chen Yen mentioned, everything on earth has the vascular system with logical connection, producing sounds through their movement. The sound produced by the flowers, leaves, stems, and tree trunks as they grow on earth. Just that we could not hear. Actually, as they are growing, there is this sound. If we are still enough, like masters, we could have heard. I think those who love nature, especially those, I'm not sure, I think, because I like nature, I like to hike. Yeah, at times, actually, we can feel the earth, the trees are for me, the trees really can when hugging the trees, I can feel certain trees they're quite warm. Certain they have different temperature. The trees also have their systems, their movements. So when Master mentioned this part, I was so really happy. So it validated what I feel. It's not like we are thinking like, oh dear, what am I feeling like that? So Master Chen Yen could hear the sound of nature, but we could not hear. I guess I could not hear when the mind is heavy and troubled with other things. So the mind not calm and not tranquil. That's why we could not hear the sound. But it doesn't imply that they never existed. So different vascular system has different ecology. All the vascular systems are logically interconnected. As the technology gets more advanced, we could see the testimonial of all these phenomena that we are living in, coexistence with each another. So we must treat all these different living creatures with gratitude, respect, and love. So now let's contemplate. Do we realize plants also have the sense of hearing? Marvelous observing cognitions. Plants, Scientists have made research and discovered that the plants could respond uniquely to the sound of waves of certain specific frequency. Firstly, it will enlarge the air holes on the surface of the leaf. When the air holes are enlarged, it will have more active photosynthesis effect. Second, it will accelerate the cell's division. Third, intracellular nutrients are broken down into smaller molecules by oscillation. Certain scientists, researchers even discovered that the fourth corresponding to certain amino acid molecules of a protein, making certain enzymes more active. All these could help to boost up the growth of the plants in digestion and intakes of nutrients. Actually, it is not difficult to understand all this. So long we are able to remain calm and tranquil with marvelous observing cognitions to comprehend the principles. Now I think we realize that some of the plants growers, they will play certain Dharma songs or certain songs to their plants, and they will mention the farmers, they will experience farmer would know that they see all these effects. So these scientists, of course, they're putting it in the more scientific terms, but the farmers are in their real experience. Oh, I heard the growth of this herbal the herbal tea sachet that we're taking to combat this pandemic. They also play the Dharma verses to the plants, to the ingredients of the plants. I mean, those plants. Okay, this is actually, okay, that what we are seeing, this is actually originated during the Tang Dynasty. There was a learned scholar who discovered this called dancing grass. This is a plant. From the footage, you could see that when you get near to the plant or in contact with the hands, it will rotate. Because there's already no video, else there's this, I think the Siew mentioned, show us this. Later, scientists discovered that the rotations were triggered by the heat. There's a reason, by the heat, sunlight, and the fixed rhythm of music, just like the relationships of the light wave. In time, many of the agriculturists put music for the plants to listen, like what was shared just now. They realized that the plants grow better and faster with the sound of music. Even in the US, they had carried out an experiment and proven that plants could sense the love and care from humans. This is called the pasture effect. Thinking about this matter, I'm sure many of us we would have known this when we see this picture. Yes, it's a farmer in Myanmar, U Ting Tun. This Burmese farmer, we talk about him, I'm sure all of us will feel very touched. U Ting Tun comes from this very poor family, yet he is full of loving kindness. Though he has not enough rice to feed his family, yet he was able to put aside a handful of rice to help the poor every day. Always very grateful and express his gratitude. Every day he is very pious to make prostration to Buddha and the Sis Su aphorism every day. He says because of Sis Su aphorism, to him, this Sis Su aphorism represents Tzu Chi. That's why he bow and make prostration. Master Cheng Yen said, a person with such pious mind and full of loving kindness, surely his life is bright and splendid. On many occasions during the Dharma discourse, Master Cheng Yen expounded on karmic retribution. So good deeds would bring forth good karmic effect. The rice donated by Tzu Chi have worms. He is very steadfast to uphold the principles that since Tzu Chi precepts is to abstain from killing, so he persisted not to apply pesticide in his farm. Actually, we know it's not easy. Shortcut way for farmers is to use pesticide. But for U Ting Tun, once he's realized the precepts, he did not use that. Master Cheng Yen said, this is because U Ting Tun is very grateful and knows how to repay the kindness. Every day he would speak good words to his plantations and he would pray piously, even making good vows. Gradually, all the worms disappear. He is full of loving kindness. He saw his neighboring rice field. The rice seedlings could not germinate. He even donated the seedlings he received from Tzu Chi to the nearby farm. Master praised his simple and broad-heartedness. In fact, initially when he was not using pesticide, the other farmers was laughing at him. They say, how you sure cannot make it? But proven later that not only his harvest was bountiful, he could even donate to others, and slowly the others also avoid using pesticide, because they know using pesticide is not the answer, because today you use one barrel, tomorrow you have to keep increasing because the worms the insects will get immune to the pesticide, and it's also very bad for the health of the farmer. Okay, next, From this incident, the master reflected, book master reflected with deep contemplation from microscopic to macroscopic viewpoint, micro to macro viewpoint. If we can recall the early years, Master Chen Yan mentioned about the farmland at the outskirts of Hualien. They saw a lot of insects crawling inside the pesticides container. We are talking about the pesticide container. There are a lot of insects crawling inside. Imagine the farmers, if they are using this to get rid of the insects, then it's not working for sure already. So the abode masters asked this elderly farmer. The elderly farmer replied with sadness. He said, "That's right. Keep increasing the volume of the pesticide we spray, but the more we spray, even more are the insects. You see, it getting worse. So it seems like it's toxic. It's like the insects are talking to the pesticide. Okay, you are toxic. I could be even more toxic than you. See, that's how a circle of evil. However, let's see in another country of different mindset, because the farmers was able to. Okay, you hold on. My mother is not taking breakfast. Okay, because the farmers was able to protect the lives and repay his gratitude, so he was able to reap a bumper harvest, and the insects are getting less. Whereas the other farmer who was following the traditional methods of using the pesticide, there was no one to guide him and advise him. So he applied a lot of pesticides, hoping to get rid of the insects. Yet the more he applied pesticides, the more insects in his farm. So the tiny caterpillars will reflect from a macro point of view. As we have mentioned earlier, everything on earth has its vitality, which signifies living creatures. Surely the insects will also appear. So if we are able to show our gratitude, respect, and love, everything originates from the mind. They will also sense such warm feeling. So the world will be more at peace and in harmony. Similarly, coming back to when our mind harbors wholesome thoughts, it would accomplish good cause to reap good fruits.
Yeah, Sister Su Ching, isn't it? That's why, the plants connect to the earth so well, because the earth provides the nourishment to the plants, right? And different plants needs different soil, different nourishment. So they are communicating. Okay, I am this type of soil, and if you grow this kind of vegetable or this particular fruit, it will be a very nice fruit. And that is the reason I realized that is the reason why we should eat seasonal food, things that grow in a particular time, because actually it's very wonderful. Nature knows what's best. Some things grow all year round, but there are many things that are growing seasonal, and nature really knows that this is the best, and they're trying to offer it to us, and yet all of us try to eat junk food, right? And not listening. And even in this respect, the plants, the earth, and us is connected in a Dharma way, right? I want to give you something. Are you receiving it? It's just like Dharma, it's here, it's everywhere. Are you receiving it, right? The nutrients are here. Are you receiving it? I'm growing. This is the best season for me to grow, fresh and nice and nutritious for you to eat. Are you eating me? So I think that sometimes that's where we must think that there's a reason for everything, and they're offering the earth in the communication with the plant is offering us something, but we may not be hearing it, we may not be receiving it. So we have to really learn how to listen, how to receive, and then we have a healthy body so that we can do all this work, all this Dharma and good work, and a healthy mind that does not that's not distracted by things, by small little things. I remember I used to tell my husband, why don't you get a gardener to mow the grass? He looked at me and he said, are you crazy? Do you know what is the smell the grass gives off when you mow the grass? It's a wonderful, fragrant, healthy smell. I say, yes, sir. He said, yes. You see, you people are so urban. You don't know what the grass, a freshly cut grass smell. It is very, very nice. It is very therapeutic. All right. So, so sometimes the husband is correct.
Yeah. You're very good on that, Sister Mona. Okay. We have finally one video. Okay, before we play this video, maybe share a bit on this video. January this year, BBC in England has broadcasted an episode on the green planet. They noticed the plants could converse with each other. The entire forest is communicating with each other through the underground. They are very compassionate. When one of the tree was dying, it would transmit the body nutrient to other trees. The entire forest is communicating with each other more ever. They have this team spirit of unity, mutual love, combined effort. It sounds a bit like 自己协力互爱they are friendly. See, these forests are like our team spirits. Furthermore, recently there was also some research study on the mushroom. They could transmit message through the electrical impulses. They could tell where they can have tasty food. They can share their mutual love and fear among each other. In fact, the plants are not dull and dumb. They are active and lively. They continuously grow and interact with each other. Let us watch this video, and then we will really love them to this how nature works in wonders.
I was walking with a friend in the Muir Woods, which is just close to San Francisco. It's a redwood forest. We came upon a park ranger, and he was explaining to some tourists the secret of the forest. He told that the sequoia and redwood trees are the largest trees on the planet. Some of them are hundreds or even thousands of years old. But interestingly, their roots do not grow deep. And then he told that these trees have been standing for centuries and centuries, enduring massive windstorms, frigid blizzards, devastating earthquakes, and without deep roots, how do they keep standing? Then the ranger paused so that we could ponder this mystery. And then he went on to reveal to us the underground secret of the redwood forest. And being from the 60s, I like underground things, so I was very attentive. He said that the roots under the ground, they reach outward, seeking the roots of other redwood trees. And when they meet, they intertwine, making a permanent bond with each other. In this way, all the redwood trees in the entire forest are either directly or indirectly giving support to each other. Unity is their strength. They reach out to care for each other. And even the little newborn baby redwoods, its little tiny roots, are given shelter by the ancient giants. In the Muir Woods, nature is giving humanity a very crucial lesson, that our real strength is in our willingness to care for and support each other. We are caretakers of divine property. Wisdom is to understand this simple universal principle that in giving we receive. By getting things, we make a living. By giving, we make a life. The spiritual evolution of a society can be understood when people love people and use things. But all too often, in today's world, it's just the opposite. People use people, and they love things.
Thank you. Wow, such a good lesson. By giving, we make life. So we are the caretakers of all these divine properties. Okay, next. About Master Tekong shared about the conversations with the plants. We are about to, I think the slide's about to reach the end of 3 more. Actually, we have pure mind free of dispute, but due to our accumulative habitual tendencies, our arising thought in the mind, it will cause us to fight with each other. How do we return to the pure nature of mind, which is free from dispute? Few months ago, Abot Master, as Abot Master walked past the reception area, Abot Master saw the flowers blossoming. So the Master thought of coming back the next day to have a look. The next day, Master saw the earlier bloom flower has given way for another flower, new flower that is blooming. Even plants also know how to take a step back to be as broad as the open sky, because flowers also need space to blossom. The flowers started to give way to another flowers, to new flowers. Such is the state to give space to another, to stay uncompetitive. Just like the rice stalk, when the grain is full, it will naturally bend down. The principles are the same. Similarly, if we apply this principle in our everyday living, in our spiritual cultivations to attain enlightenment, if we are facing certain situations, we must take a step backward. And this is what we ought to learn diligently, to take a step backward until we have no conflicts with others and move forward to foster good affinity with others. So we will be able to deal with things harmoniously. 金色 aphorism, to see the beauty from a cheap cup, just as Master Cheng Yen said, to see the goodness in others. You yourself has already the goodness in you. Any message that could motivate and inspire others, we could be willing to spread out through high technology. Everyone could spread the Dharma. Only by transmitting the Buddha Dharma across the sky, then we can bring peace to the world and keep away from suffering and karmic retribution. Okay, this one is a recent sharing from during the Kaohsiung Tusu in week of. Okay, other Zhong Han, he shared during this Kaohsiung book study, when he shared his frustration about an interpersonal issues with Abot Master, and in reply, Abot Master sent him the right picture. I know most of us, in fact, I also cannot read what's the content. So we are grateful to Dr. Ho for translating it. It's about, if you are at the ground floor, you hear someone scolding you, you are angry. Yeah, you can hear the scolding. If we are at the 10th floor, if someone is scolding us, the words are faint and we are thinking, maybe they are saying hello. So imagine if we are at the 100th floor, if someone is scolding us. However, all we can see is the unhindered view of the world. The suffering of a person, for if the heart is small, then that's great suffering. All we can see is the problems, unhappiness. The pothole is small, all mundane things is silly squabbles. Okay, if we could have an enlarged viewpoint, the heart is broad, then our life is immersed and unfathomable. There's nothing that we can take issues of. So let us hopefully, as we face people matters object issues, we are always at the 100 floors. Nothing is hindering us. We can't even see the person. Maybe we are at 10th floor also. We are thinking the person is saying hello to us. About Master's the final slide. About Master Tekong mentioned conversations with Mother Nature is none other than to transpire the seeds of pure innate nature within each of us. Although this seeds is very tiny, very small, but eventually it will grow up into a big tree. Just yesterday, when we listened to Brother Benjamin's and the team sharing about fixing, repairing the old computers, PC, reinstate it to its good self and passing it to many centers, benefiting many disciples and poor families. So when brother started, it was only like 1 or 2 very small handful of them. And today we could see the big team and it's still growing. So all of us, we had a very good session yesterday. This reminded me of him. The seeds, though very small, it will eventually grow into the big tree. Have faith. So that's how Master Cheng Yen inspired every one of us, hoping that we could all care and protect Mother Earth. The world needs Tzu Chi, so we must recruit more Bodhisattva to join Tzu Chi. We care for the people and invite them to come and care for the missions. Every effort counts. This is to spread the seeds of goodness from one multiply to infinite, forming a forest of body tree. Frank, finally, thanks for listening, sharing this 2-colored flower picture with you. One person has 2 facets, ordinary beings and sages. Good or evils lies within the change of one thought. Okay, with that, Karen for listening, and Sister Moon, over to you if you have any.
No, I said share what I would like to share based on this. It just goes to show that giving space to others, I think, is very important, isn't it? Especially for us who are older. What is there to prove? Who are you proving to? Who are you proving to? It's to ourselves. So it is the ego that is wanting to not let go and to be constantly wanting to be recognized, right? Rather than to say, hey, you can do this together, and not just I must be in the forefront. Especially, I know I have a lot of friends, in this age group. So you constantly remind each other. You give the younger people space, don't hog the space. Yeah, because you have nothing to prove to nobody except yourself.
True, wise. Karen, Sister Moon, for the words of wisdom, and Karen, all the brothers and sisters. Okay, and of course we are very grateful to Sister Lily for hosting this session despite traveling out station. Sister Su Ching, very grateful to your every week summary, and today another wonderful, awesome sharing. And Sister Moon for always giving us all these moments of realizations and insights for us to contemplate. And brothers and sisters, maybe before we end, let's take a group picture. Yesterday I forgotten to take group picture. Today let's do that. Okay, and everyone. Okay, Sister Moon remind us to do the grounding later at the park. Grounding. And it's Karen Sister Epi for the very a lot of good insights at YouTube site, and all the brothers and sisters for staying with us until now, from morning until now. And okay, if everyone can on the video, maybe we take one good picture. Sister Su Ching, so fast you already transformed. Sister YY, you will take a photo of Karen. Hello, morning.
Okay, sorry, yes, brothers and sisters who can on the video, please do so. 1, 2, 3. One. Okay.
Okay. Before we end, let's invite Brother Robert to lead us in paying homage to Buddha and Sangren. Brother Robert.
Yeah, please put our palms together. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. We go for thank you. And everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Stay
Take
safe.
care.
Okay.